Born Bomb is the new album from Ano-chan, and we are doing a track-by-track listen through. I've just done a reaction to the first song that wasn't pre-released, which was Bubble Me Face. And that song was absolutely crazy. Now, I've done a whole preamble about why I'm so excited about this album. So if you want to see all of the story leading up to this really exciting, for me at least, track by track listen through to the new Ano album, then go check out the big speech I did before Bubble Me Face, before that reaction. I spoke a lot about why this album's so exciting for me. But where we stand at the current moment, I mean, the opening track is the Ano Lila song, which is one of my favorite songs in recent memory. I adore that. Then we have Bubble Me Face, which is an absolutely wild banger, which builds upon F Wonderful World, already one of my favorite Ano-chan songs. Now we got this song, Bone Baki Twilight Diary, but I'm aware of the fact that right after this is Lonely Rockin' Robot, which is also like one of my favorite songs of this year. So in all fairness, if Bone Baki Twilight Diary, what is going on with the names on this album, if this track turns out to be really strong, then this could be the strongest first four opening tracks of any album that I can think of. This is one hell of a strong start for an album. I already had high expectations, and maybe I should calm down and temper my expectations before getting into this song, Bone Baki Twilight Diary. Let's be honest, it's surrounded by great songs, so expectations low. Let's not have the expectations too high and cause disappointment, but this is a strong start. I am really excited about this. So enough waffle. Like I said, I did the big preamble before the last reaction. So let's just jump in, hear this one. I'm excited. Let's go. Bouncing between sort of like this sort of rock and roll style of punk and like aggressive punk. They're just gonna start screaming in a second. That's nice! That's nice, that's pretty! Sound like a piano in the background, that's really nice, I'm liking that. That's a really beautiful developing chord pattern. Yeah, fuck it, why not? Bone Baki. Okay. You can feel just the tempo slightly adjusting as it goes. There's something quite raw and live about this in a weird way. And yet it's got a strangely well-organised slickness to it as well. That's a nice chorus. And again, the chord pattern, as I was trying to say, beautifully developed. Very old school style, like melody and chord pattern, but it's just so nicely used here. It's the screaming, but with the background. I love that juxtaposition between. So this is one of the things, right? Because like a lot has been made of the fact that Ano does these kind of like raged out screams, and you know they on her TV show she had as guests she had Hanabiya with Yukina, and they were talking about like the scream vocal that Hanabiya do, and of course that's like really metalcore and yeah, Harajuku core, but it's that metalcore style vocal. It's all very aggressive and screaming. Anno kind of does these screams, but I get the feeling with her, it's not this specific style of screaming that people have in metal where it's like, oh, that's how you do screaming properly. Her, it's just like she literally just kind of like hits the peak and kind of goes a bit mad and just kind of, when your voice breaks from control into a scream. That's more what it sounds like with Anno to me. Is it just sounds like someone who genuinely, and I said this in the preamble before the last reaction, is that one of the things I love about Anno's voice is that there is a feeling, it's very human. Every emotion she conveys feels very real, even though she doesn't do these big dramatic style vocals like some other much more famous singers, at least to Western audiences. She is very good at conveying a genuine feeling, like it feels like real emotion. Whatever she expresses, it feels like that's what she really feels right now. So yeah, her screams, it isn't like some very well designed like metal scream. It's just like, no, I've lost control. I'm losing my mind. Kind of that style of fun. I really love the expressiveness in her music, which comes across great here. The song itself, structurally very old school. It's kind of got like a bit of a pop punk kind of like dancey, almost like ska at some point style of guitar playing and bounciness during the verses. Kind of happy-go-lucky, summery, and then you get into the chorus, and the chorus has a fairly long developing chord pattern. It's not just 4 chords repeating. It goes round, it develops, it has a nicely build-up end, and then comes back round to that right point. It's a almost very traditionally structured kind of rock and roll style chord pattern and chorus, and it's in a way therefore quite, like I said, old school, very very familiar. I want to avoid saying the word simple, because it's not simple. It's actually quite well structured. Like I say, it's got a good amount of chord development in there, but there's nothing about this that feels like it's particularly like pushing any envelope. It feels like a very sort of safe, friendly, familiar style of writing. Just then peppered in with those sort of crazy sounds in the background, that nice little sort of weird piano keyboard thing going on, along with the great at doing musical instruments with my voice, great impersonations, and then the screams. But if you like take away all of that, it's just a very sort of traditional style, upbeat, punky rock and roll song. So this was interesting. Obviously, we're putting it amongst 4 songs, which, like I say, that first song is one of my favourite songs in recent years. The 4th song, the one that comes after this, therefore, is a song that only came out recently, but I absolutely adore that. And then Bubble Me Face, I've only heard that for the first time like a couple of minutes ago, and I adore that as well. So yeah, compared to those 3, this is not quite like the same wow factor as those 3, but I must say that this, I would definitely come back and listen to this on its own. And if it wasn't for the incredibly high bar that was set around it, this would just be a song that I would be giggling hysterically about and listening to in its own right. It's just silly, it's fun, but it's also melodically rewarding. I was listening to the bass line a lot because, as I say, because it's got a kind of a traditional rock and roll feeling, I was like listening a bit to the bass line to just sort of hear. You can often tell a song that's got care and affection put into it when the bass line doesn't just follow the chord pattern. And the bass was doing some really cool fun things in there, sort of holding down the center of the song, but then occasionally walking off and doing some really cool little expressive lines. This was just, to me, this honestly just felt like a song that was not pushing any boundaries, and yet there was so much attention put into making it, first of all, well written, properly, nicely well written and structured, and also fun, having those silly little things. I'm sure they were giggling as much as I was when they heard the sound of her scream alongside that keyboard. That is just so hysterically fun, and have that right at the crescendo of the song, where this is the bit we're playing out and there's it's so good. I love that. Often I talk about how people will talk about how they love live music, and of course I love live music. I work with live music so often, but I am a great advocate of how much fun the creating is. Writing music, being in the studio, that's the bit that people think of as being some sterile, stoic, industry executives in a cold white room putting together an album kind of thing. It's not. Like, a properly made album is just, it's so exciting. It's people sitting around giggling, going, "Oh my god, let's try this," and then listening to it back and going, "That is fucking crazy." And this is what I feel when I hear this. I get the same feeling listening to little moments like that I think a lot of people get when they hear, like, when they see like someone on stage playing like a really cool live guitar solo and the audience going crazy. I get that feeling when I hear stuff like the last few bars of this, because for me, I've worked in the studio and I've seen that look on an artist's face, and I've done songwriting as well. I know that feeling when you have that moment where you're just like, you're listening to it back and you're going, that is wild. That is absolutely freaking wild. What did we do? I need to quickly see who wrote this. Who's got the credits here? The composer was Komedawara from Romantic Addiction. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. But freaking credit to you. That was awesome. I'm enjoying this album so much. I am really enjoying this. I am like, I'm giddy. I'm enjoying it. Now, here comes the next bit. Here's the important bit. As you can see, we have a string of singles now. I didn't even notice how many. So obviously next we got Lonely Rockin' Robot, which was brilliant. After that we've got, so this single, I can't remember exactly how to say the kanji for this one. This single was one where I liked it, but it probably so far, wouldn't say this one blew me away. It gave me vibes of I can't remember what it's called, the Chainsaw Man song she did, the one that's probably her most famous song. Had a little bit of a vibe of that. It was good, but it was kind of like, it was, if it had been anyone else, I'd been good single. For Anna, it was like, okay, that's fairly stable middle ground stuff. Then we have the Only Two of Us in the World, and sorry, then we got this one. This one was very again, this one was kind of like very artsy. This is where we had like the really professional director, quite famous director, I believe, did the music video for that. That one was quite strange but quite beautiful. So you can kind of see how the album's gone from like crazy, then to something quite poppy and fun but still crazy, then calming down a little bit more, and then Only Two of Us in the World. Gorgeous song. Very sort of like thinking it's kind of like that late 90s, slightly, I guess they say post-grunge feel to it. Very, very beautiful song that though. And that leaves us, oh my god, we've only got 4 more songs to go, because of course you and I, Heaven is in there as well. So the next one will be Swim in Sleeping Tokyo. It's a very beautiful sounding name, and it's coming right after a very beautiful and melancholy song. So I think we're going to be going to a very different vibe now, because we've got to go through 4 songs that really take us from the batshit crazy start we've had and slowly wind us down to something a little bit more chill. So anyway, we'll talk about that more in the next video. Like I said, I'm putting these out in sequence, so come join me for the next reaction. It will be out soon. But until I see you in that next one, for now, ciao, ciao.